what's up guys? Joker here, and today I wanted to give you my opinion on whether or not I think it's worth upgrading to 4K at this time for a TV or a monitor for things like gaming, watching movies, TV, all sorts of media consumption on things like YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime Video. I've had a couple of months to have hands-on with 4K since I picked up the 40-inch 4K monitor and 2 smart 4K TVs for my house. So I wanted to give you my feedback based on that experience and let you know whether or not it's worth it. Now, in case you're not familiar with what 4K is, you've never seen a 4K image, basically it's 4 times the resolution of 1080p. 1080p is 1920 by 1080, whereas 4K is 3840 by 2160. Actually, true 4K would be 4096 by 2160, but all of the Ultra HD TVs you're going to find in your local stores like Best Buy and Walmart are going to be 3840 by 2160 and probably like 99.9% of the cases. And if you've never seen 4K, I definitely recommend going down to your local Best Buy, Target, Walmart, what have you, your local TV retailer, and just check out some of the demos that they have playing on the 4K TVs. If it's a shop anywhere near worth its salt in its sales, then it should have native 4K content playing on those screens, and you'll get an idea of just how sharp and crisp a 4K native image actually is. As far as what 4K content you can consume at home right now, it is extremely limited, especially if you're a PC user, which to me sounds kind of backwards because we have all of this powerful hardware at our disposal that could easily be able to transcode 4K images. We can do it with gaming, obviously, and we're going to touch more on gaming in a little bit. But as far as Netflix is concerned, that does have 4K content on TVs. For instance, my two 50-inch TVs both have Netflix apps built into them. So you could just go on Netflix and watch Ultra HD 4K content. And it'll tell you up at the top left on Netflix, you've probably seen things that say like HD or Super HD. If it's 4K, it'll say Ultra HD 4K right there on Netflix. A lot of people actually get confused by that and think that Super HD is actually 4K, but that's actually just a common misconception, and Super HD is actually just 1080p at a higher bitrate. I can't tell you how many people have come to me and said, oh, I'm watching in 4K, it's Super HD. Like, no, that's just a higher bitrate 1080p. It looks a little bit better than the standard HD on Netflix, but not that much. If you really want to watch native 4K content, make sure it's saying Ultra HD 4K right on Netflix or whatever other type of media that you're trying to consume. YouTube is also a great outlet for 4K content. Linus Tech Tips, Hardware Canucks are both 2 tech channels that I watch on YouTube that upload regularly in 4K, so that's one of the reasons I like watching them, besides the fact that they do great content, especially Dimitri over at Hardware Canucks, and I love watching his sexy B-roll in 4K. It's really one of the few things I can actually do in 4K on my computer outside of gaming because of the limits of the 4K content right now. Now, we do have 4K Blu-rays coming out towards the end of this year. We're meant to be getting our dual-layer and triple-layer Blu-ray discs by the end of 2015, but it's really anyone's best guess as to how extensive the library of content is going to be on these 4K Blu-rays by the end of the year. We only have a few months left here in 2015, and we haven't really seen anything start to show up just yet as far as 4K Blu-ray players or the actual 4K movies are concerned on Blu-ray. So since we know that 4K content is limited right now and the programming you're going to be watching on your cable TV box is all going to be in 1080p or less, then it really raises the question as how does 1080p content fare on a 4K screen? And it looks great. Since it's an exact 4:1 pixel ratio, it's going to scale up very well. The images look super crisp, even better than a 1080p screen. Granted, 1080p images aren't going to look like 4K images, so don't expect miracles there, but they're going to look as good as a 1080p screen or better when you are upscaling it for games, movies, TV, what have you. Even just watching TV on my cable box on HBO, Game of Thrones looks absolutely amazing on these 4K screens, so you really shouldn't have any worries there as far as how 1080p content is going to fare on a 4K screen if you do decide to pick one up. As far as pricing is concerned, it's extremely competitive now at the time of making this video. Even just a year ago, 4K TVs were really expensive, but now we're starting to see them fall in line with the same pricing that you would have expected a year ago on 1080p TVs. Even smart TVs, 42-inch screens, you're expecting to see around $400 to $600, depending on which brand you get. Obviously, you can get like the uber, curved Samsung TVs, and those are going to be like $2,000 and upward, but that's because you're paying for those like extra features. But for like a basic smart TV out the door, you can get one now at Walmart or Best Buy for $500 to $600 easily, and that's really what you would expect to spend on a 1080p TV at that size just a year ago. So if you are buying a new TV in general, then it's really worth it to just get a 4K screen so that you're ready for the future, basically future-proofed for when all of the new 4K content is becoming available, so you're not stuck back in the Stone Age on 1080p. Now, I've also done a fair amount of gaming at 4K here on my secondary monitor on my PC, which does require a hell of a system if you're wanting to drive native 4K gaming on your PC, and in my opinion, it's really not worth it. You're going to need like two 980 Ti's or two Fury X's if you even want to think about running games at the highest settings at 4K, even if you have anti-aliasing off. I mean, you probably could get by with one card if you're okay with turning down settings, but I'm the type of gamer that likes to just turn up everything on the PC and then just walk away and not even think about it. And as far as 4K versus 1440 versus 1080p, if you're going from 1080 to 4K, you're going to see a massive jump in how the images look and how detailed you'll be able to see in the textures and the images on your screen in gaming. But going from 1440p to 4K, I have to say that the jump was not as drastic for me. Even though it is essentially doubling the resolution from 1440p, I just didn't see a massive leap enough for me to be able to say, you know what, I need 4K all the time. I can't go back to 1440p. It really wasn't like that for me, whereas opposed when I went from 1080p to 1440 and then look back on a 1080 screen, I just couldn't do it anymore. The resolution is too small. There's not enough screen real estate when I'm at my desktop, and gaming on it just does not look great to me because I've been to the 1440p promised land. But going over to 4K, I didn't really have that sense of I can't go back now once I've seen gaming at 4K. It looked good. It did look a little bit more detailed, but in my opinion, it really wasn't worth that massive performance hit. And for a lot of people, it's not going to be worth the cost of having to go out and spend like $2,000 to $3,000 on a gaming PC capable of running modern titles at 4K at ultra settings. And of course, at 4K, you can turn down anti-aliasing. On most games, you can pretty much turn it down all the way, but you still do need it on a lot of titles. GTA 5, for example, I definitely noticed that I did need some anti-aliasing in that game. Obviously, not as much as I would at something like 1080p or 1440, but I did still need some anti-aliasing because even at 4K, I could still see some of those jaggies in that game. So, in conclusion, is 4K worth it? I would say yes, it is. If you're thinking about picking up a 4K TV this holiday, trying to find something on sale and you need a new television, absolutely get a 4K screen so that you're ready for the future. 1080p content on it looks really good already, and when you do have native 4K content to watch, it looks absolutely stunning, just super, super crisp. There's a limited amount of stuff you can watch, like I said, on Amazon Prime and 4K, maybe about 15 to 20 things or so on Netflix, who has, I think, the largest library right now of 4K content. Stuff like Breaking Bad is on there in native 4K. The recent show Narcos, the Netflix original, which was a really good series, was shot and filmed in 4K. Also, House of Cards is 4K. So if you haven't watched any of those series or you want to rewatch them, they are there in 4K. You could watch those natively, and I definitely recommend that you do if you go out and pick up a 4K screen so you can actually enjoy some native 4K content. But as far as gaming is concerned, my opinion still holds that it's not worth it really for the performance hit that you're going to take on gaming, as well as the cost that you're going to incur by having to upgrade your PC in order to be able to run games at that resolution. But it's really a decision you're going to have to make for yourself at the end of the day if it's something that you really, really need for as far as gaming is concerned. But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here now, guys. But before I do, being that this was actually a video on an opinion, I wanted to let you know that this video was sponsored by Opinion Outpost, which is a survey website that you can go ahead and check out. I'm going to leave a link to it down in the description below. I thought about this, about how it actually fits in with the content, and my thought was there's a lot of gamers out there who are actually, you know, struggling, don't have a lot of money for games sometimes on these like Steam summer sales, Steam winter sales. So filling out some surveys and making a few extra bucks is actually a really good way just to get some money in your pocket if you do need extra money to buy a new game or something like that and you don't have the money at hand. You do get paid out pretty much instantly on there. You can get paid out on PayPal, Amazon, iTunes, things like that. So it is actually a legitimate survey website. It's not like these spammy websites, you know, it's all fake and it's a scam. This is one of the legit websites out there. So definitely go ahead and check out Opinion Outpost. I'm going to leave the sponsored link down in the description below, and I'll get out of here now, guys, and I'll catch you next time. Ta-ra.